nice. I have the chat over here. Sweet. I'll put it over here though, so you can.
It's
see
whatever.
I would rather us both be able to see it.
Watch now. We are live, sir.
Indeed, we are.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Welcome to the RawDawgers Sportscast Live. I'm Sean Watson.
I'm Ryan Kessler.
Welcome in, everybody, to another fun-filled Friday evening. We're going to talk about a little bit of the Browns' futures, what we agree, disagree with the ESPN statistics, and not only that, the Las Vegas betting futures when it comes to the Cleveland Browns and their chances of winning the AFC North. We're also going to dive into a little Joey Chestnut crying Jordan segment. And we're going to talk about some NBA Finals. Of course, Game 4 tonight. Boston go ahead and clinch it, which I feel like there's just there's no way that I'm not saying it's not possible. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think the Mavs are going to get swept in the NBA Finals. Of course, everybody's talking about. I kind of want to dive into it right now, but first off, I want to say this. I want to hold up my shirt here. There's a gentleman we wanted to kind of do a cross promotion with on this QR code shirt. Ryan, you got your phone handy there? We can just give a kind of example of what's going on. But you need to get over to his TikTok shop. It's at g.spot.apparel. And if you just hold that up to the camera, I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah. It's a big fuck you.
Anyway, head over to g.spot.apparel. It's TikTok shop. Pick yourself up one of these shirts. I did. Fits extremely well. He has a bunch of other great products over there. We're trying to do a cross promotion with him. We're getting held up by the TikTok Talkanese. I don't know. We've put in some different tickets with them. He has as well, as to why for some reason we can't get a commission ship going with him. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into some of the Browns futures. I know you wanted to talk about this, Ryan. You want to start us off?
Sure. Let me get some of these graphics up here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This is a ESPN.
Jason Stewart, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. TikTok.
Yep. If you could like and share it, we'd appreciate it. But this is something that was on UCSS today. Pretty good show. I pretty much watch it every day. There's a couple of the guys there that I don't really like listening to, like the guy sitting right there, unless he's talking to Indians. I don't think he knows what the hell he's talking about.
Again?
Crawford.
That's right.
But I did agree with him on this, and pretty much the whole panel that was there today. Big shout out to, wow, I can't think of his name. Garrett Bush and
Okay.
The ex-safety played for Ohio State, but they're on the panel today, and it's showing ESPN Analytics showing a 46.4% chance for Baltimore to win the division championship this year. Cincinnati at 36.5%, even though they finished last in the division and gained basically nothing. The Browns, who were a game behind Baltimore with 6 different quarterbacks, at 9.1%, and Pittsburgh, who
don't forget the Danger Witch.
Right.
I mean, the Danger Witch has to count for something.
Right, and the Danger Witch is now in Pittsburgh. And if anybody else hasn't seen this, they're actually starting to put Justin Fields in running back drills.
Really? I did hear something about a month ago that they were talking about maybe playing him at special teams. And I heard that was a rumor, and then it kind of got shut down on not TikTok, but on Twitter. Like somebody's rescinded it. I don't know if Justin Fields did himself. He's like, no, I play quarterback, bro, or some shit like that on Twitter. I don't know, but
I would hope so.
But
he's a quarterback.
I haven't right, but I didn't hear about this though. Go ahead. I didn't hear about this thing about the actual running back position though.
I watched him go through running back drills with the other running backs. I think that coalesced into people thinking he might be doing some special teams work.
Well, that's okay.
But he's a hell of an athlete. I'll say this.
He is.
If you're going to put him back at kick return, he's not going to be your number one starter quarterback, but you're also then opening yourself up to possible injury, and then you're putting all your money in on the Russell Wilson basket.
Okay, so you're bringing up this thing with him possibly being in the running back room.
I don't think he's possibly being in the running back room, but it
Okay.
seems like he's doing some things that they might have a package or something for him.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Are they going to go ahead and maybe play 2 quarterbacks? They're going to bring him in like in a third down type situation where he can play a wildcat position?
This is going to be the greatest year of watching the Steelers fucking burn up in flames. They are in. So they just extended Mike
panic
Tomlin
mode
for 3 years.
Right? Panic mode.
A 3-year extension for a head coach is always kind of wishy-washy.
Right. And if you didn't see my list, I put it out there on our Twitter page over at Dogs Raw on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
RawDawgers? Dogs Raw on Twitter. It's over there. There's 27 different coaches that have now won a playoff game since Mike Tomlin won.
And
Just
Stefanski's, well, I can't say. Yeah, Stefanski's the last one to win one in Pittsburgh.
Right.
I guess you could say the interim coach. I can't even remember his fucking name now, but the special teams coordinator who was god awful. But I just think this is 100% absurd, and I think everybody that looks at this is like, well, we don't know about Deshaun. We didn't have Deshaun last year, and we almost won the fucking division.
Right.
We sat our starters at the end of the last game of the season because, 1, we were banged the hell up, but
Right.
2, you had 11 wins.
Right.
Baltimore already had the.
And we weren't moving position in
No.
the playoffs at that point.
No, you already
remember
had
that.
you already had the fifth.
There's no
fifth seed
reason
locked
for us.
up.
Yeah, there's no reason for us to continue and possibly hurt starters.
Right.
That would hurt us in that initial play.
And
Now,
we would have won that game against Cincinnati because they're our bitch.
they are.
I thought I did think the backups were going to play a little bit better than they did, but a lot of that was you're playing quarterback number 6.
But also, you still in the minds. I mean, I know you're saying about the backups, but still in their minds.
Cincinnati wasn't playing a bunch of backups.
No. The Browns.
Yeah.
In that game.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I agree with you. But what? Still, we just said it. Motivationally, there's no reason for us to go ahead and play starters. And in their mind, subconsciously, you have to think to yourself, okay, we're even as backups. We're in here. It doesn't really make that big of a difference.
No.
We're not win or lose this game. It has no
the
bearing.
only,
as
the only
what we're gonna
upside
do.
of that game was seeing David Bell continue what he had been doing the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season.
True.
But to me, this is ridiculous. I think if you want to put Baltimore at 1, sure, they are the reigning AFC North champs.
Hey,
Great regular season team over the last 4 or 5 years.
the 2-time MVP. Let's not forget
MVP.
about. He gets escorted out of the playoffs immediately, but he's a 2-time. Greatest. He is actually turning into the Black Phillip Rivers.
Or the Black Peyton Manning.
Yeah, that too. That too. That's not like a racist thing. That's just it is what it is.
Can't win in the playoffs.
Can't win in the playoffs. So, but go ahead. You can just beat the shit out of people in the regular season and win the division. Good for
Right.
you. And win MVPs, and everybody just tops on that all the damn time about, he's a 2-time MVP winner. Well, you know what? So who gives a fuck? Would you rather just have like an MVP winner every single season, or actually do something? You tell me, right? Throw it out there too.
Okay,
Put yourself
in the
Browns
lens
position.
the lens of the Browns.
Yes.
Oh, could we win 3 or 4 division titles in 6 years and have a 2-time MVP winner and be relevant every year? I'll take that.
Yeah. Now see,
But the thing is that he's not done. They're not done. Baltimore is going to be right there again. They always are.
All
That
right.
defense is still going to be good.
And the stats that you have up prove it. And Vegas has them as the favorite too. What you and I were talking. Go ahead though.
But this is where I differ in this. I don't think Baltimore's chances should be that high. I do believe they should be first on this list.
Okay, I agree.
We haven't won a division since
I
1989.
agree with you. I agree with you. They should be 1.
But I also think Cleveland should be 2. It should be like a 37-32 split between the two of us. Cincinnati should be 3. I respect Joe Burrow, but I also have eyes, and I've seen him play the last 2 years and also be hurt a lot of that time and not play well the first month of the season. I don't think this is a year where you can start off 1-3 and win the AFC North.
Right.
That makes no sense to me. And not to mention, he cannot beat Cleveland.
Yeah.
He's like, 2-10 career against Cleveland or something like 2-9. Most of that time with, pump fake McGee back there. So, in Pittsburgh, the only way they win this division if there's mass casualties among the other three teams. I think they're going to coast to a solid 7-10, 8-9. You know, they might break the 9-8 threshold to keep Tomlin's streak alive, but they also have a very tough schedule. And the way that they've won games in the past, I don't think that's going to be a continuous thing. And I definitely don't think Russell Wilson is going to be the cure-all to what they have going on offense.
Okay. Well, and I have a tendency to agree with you on this. I'm going to go ahead and put Baltimore as the favorite. I think they should be the favorite in the division to go and win. I'm being realistic. But I really have a hard – I'm looking at these percentages. I really have a big problem with the – let's see, what is that? Would be about a 25% percentage drop there between Cincinnati and Cleveland.
Right.
Even if that number – I mean, let's say that number was like – let's say the Browns were 30. I wouldn't have as big of a problem with that.
No.
If the Browns were like at 30.
Even if you wanted to put Cincinnati at 2.
But there should not be
close.
a 25-point differential.
This is a Baltimore-Cincy-Cleveland race.
Right.
Pittsburgh, we know Pittsburgh. They could very well play tough, be 8-9, 9-8, 10-7
sure,
maybe.
500.
They're going to be
you
around
just signed
that.
Tomlin again. That's you
Right.
love 500 seasons.
Right. And where Russell Wilson is in his career, the offensive line they have, how many more touches can you give Najee Harris for him not to average 4 yards a carry? Let's be honest here. I don't see Pittsburgh as a threat to win this division. Could they threat for a playoff spot? Always. They'll always be right there. Mm-hmm. But the discrepancy between Cincy and Cleveland is hilarious. We had a backup quarterback basically all year last year too, and we won 2 more games of them. And got to the playoffs.
And you have that's the other problem too. You only have a 1% differential between Cleveland and Pittsburgh.
Right.
You might as well say they're just in the shithole, and the other two are way up there.
Right.
And if you look at, we looked at some of the NFL betting futures too, and Vegas has the Browns 6-1 to win the division right now. Baltimore, I think, is 2-1. Cincinnati's like 2.5 to 1.
Right.
And Pittsburgh is, I have no idea. I can't remember. But go ahead and bet Pittsburgh. You know, you like losing money. You like building casinos. That's fine. Go ahead and do it. I've been known to do it a time or two.
And we do have a nice graphic here of each team's schedule. And I think what we can do here is a little exercise.
Sure.
For each team.
Right.
What we're going to do now is run down each and every team's schedule. Mm-hmm. And we'll predict a win-loss record for each team.
Sure. Too bad we couldn't just put a W or L on there while we're doing it, but it's no big deal. Well, and I think this is important to kind of tell everybody too, if you are not familiar with how NFL football works, what the fuck are you watching us for, number one? But, okay, so because they're all division rivals, number one, they all play each other twice. Okay, there's 6 games for each. Okay, those are all, one's at home, one's away. Okay, they also play a division in the AFC where there's 4 different divisions. All 4 teams play all 4 teams from that division. Then they play all 4 teams of an NFC division, correct? Okay, so now you have 4, 4, 6. You're at 14. So the only difference really between the schedules, of course, it has to do with some of those are going to be away, in these division foes. Some are going to be at home, and I get that. And that will make a difference. We have the AFC West division this year. So, the teams that get to play Kansas City at home, or San Diego possibly at home, or if you think the Raiders are going to do really well, if you get to play those at home, that makes a difference versus whether you have to play them away. But I guess the 3 big ones of the 17-game schedule is going to be their different division, the different at-large opponents. Yes. So I think those are the ones we really, really want to hone in on. Also, we discussed our division record last year. You said Pittsburgh was 5-1 inside the division. So, of course, they had.
I do not see that happening again.
Nope. The Browns. Of course, we had that throwaway game. We were
3-3.
3-3. Could have been 4-2.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. So
we're the only ones to beat Pittsburgh last year too.
Right. So. Awesome.
With a 3rd-string quarterback.
So which one? We got the Baltimore Ravens schedule up here first then?
Yep.
So we got what? What's week 1? Is that the Eagles? I can't.
No,
it's hard for me to see it.
That is the preseason.
Oh, that's the
schedule.
preseason. Okay.
Week 1 at Kansas City to open up the
Oh
year.
yeah, that's the opening season. That's Thursday night on Amazon Prime at 8:20 p.m. on what's it, September 5th, isn't it? I think I remember. Is it September 5th? I believe. Anyway,
it doesn't have the date on it.
It's the opening. I'm pretty sure it's September 5th.
Yeah, it's opening night.
Opening night, NFL kickoff at Arrowhead, right?
Yeah.
That's a tough game. I mean, that's a tough game regardless. Right now, if I was to set the line at that game, now here's the thing. Kansas City just knocked them out of the playoffs at Baltimore. Okay, we just talked about Baltimore just hitting the skids in the playoffs. If I was to set that line right now, it's probably
KC
minus 1.
Yeah, 1 to 2.5, something like that.
Yeah, you think it's that? You think it's that much? Even with, everybody's going to think about that game from a betting perspective. They're going to think about, well, Kansas City just beat their ass in Baltimore.
But it's a different year.
It's a different year.
And it's regular season.
And it's regular season. I mean, let's not forget too. Kansas City also had the opening night kickoff this last season against Detroit. They lost at home against Detroit, who made the playoffs.
Right.
Also, they were what? They were actually no, they were like a possession away from the NFC Championship, right? They won 2 straight at home, and then they lost, right, to the Niners. Or was that no? They were in the NFC Championship. They were in the NFC Championship.
Yeah,
that's right. They won their first 2.
Damn close.
They're pretty close.
Go the whole way.
So, Kansas City. I have a feeling like Kansas City, it could be another year like it was last year.
With what was his name, White out of Texas?
Xavier White. Yes, the one they traded with Buffalo. It's not.
It's not White. It's the super fast guy.
Yeah, Worthy. Damn it.
Okay.
I was thinking Xavier Howard. I'm like, no, that guy just had problems. The ex-Miami corner, all-pro corner. That's probably the story we should have brought up for Crying Jordan, but he was another, had a domestic violence suit. That hot Florida fucking sun, folks.
That'll get
Anyway, okay, so let's just go. You know what? I'm going to give Baltimore that W right there on Thursday night.
Okay, on the road, I could see that. I honestly think it's going to take Kansas City probably 2 or 3 weeks to kind of figure out the offense. And, I think a big thing of what they're going to be able to do next year, at least in the regular season, is how healthy is Travis Kelce, and is he still going to be as effective?
Sure.
Is he going to start being one of those like 10 reception, 78-yard guys, or is he still going to be able to have those explosive plays?
Correct. And the other thing is, too, just like you pointed out, if there's any place that Xavier Worthy is going to have a chance to succeed, it's probably going to be in Kansas City. We talked about it on draft night for our live pod for the NFL draft.
It's like when Deshaun Jackson went to Philly.
Yeah.
Those burner guys, they have to go to a certain spot.
Yeah.
And he had Mike Vick there.
But also Andy Reid was there, too.
And Andy Reid
was there during that time. So, is that possible? I mean, we know Rashee Rice.
I'm definitely not going to bet against that.
Rashee Rice is definitely having some issues. He's had a couple different back-to-back issues here, but
he was productive when he was not, fucking around.
Right, that's true. So let's go ahead. I mean, you can agree with me or not. So I'm going to give Baltimore the dub there on Thursday night.
Sure. No, we'll make this a consensus.
That's fine.
Both. Then the next week at home against the Raiders. I think that's a W.
That's probably a W. They're probably. I'm going to go 2-0. Yeah, I'm going to go 2, and they get long rest there because it's Thursday night.
Yep. And then the week after that, you go to Dallas. I think that's a loss. I think Mike Parsons has a day. I also think Dallas is probably still a top 2-3 team in the NFC right now.
Yeah, I actually feel like Dallas is the NFC equivalent of the Baltimore Ravens. They're great in the regular season, and they just choke themselves off in the postseason.
In Dallas, that's their game to win.
Yeah, and Dallas was excuse me. Dallas was undefeated at home last year. Of course, they had that treacherous bad call against Detroit, which would have given them their only loss.
Well, that was in Detroit.
No, that was at Dallas. That was at Jerry World. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was. So Dallas would have been.
They're both domes. So
right. So Dallas actually undefeated at home last year. So, but I'll agree with you on that. So let's give them 2-1. 2-1.
Okay.
What do we got next?
At home against the Buffalo Bills.
Ooh. Okay. I think, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna give the Ravens the win. I'm gonna give the Ravens the dub. Although, you generally talk about home field. The Ravens don't really have a great home field.
We beat them there. We play better in Baltimore than we do in Cleveland against them for some reason.
And the Bills, the Bills could come off. I haven't looked at their schedule. The Bills could very well come off just hotter than shit, and put all the haters in behind. Of course, they lost Stephon Diggs. They lost Gabe Davis. And then they picked up Keon Coleman with that trade back into the first round, or out of the first round, pick 33. I heard Keon Coleman's looking really good in camp.
I almost want to give that to Buffalo there.
Okay, all right.
Early in the season, Josh Allen.
That's at Baltimore, but I don't care about the ball. Is that a 1:00 game? I assume it is. Is it 1:00 or is it a special? Is it a Monday?
That's Peacock, so that's probably
Sunday night football.
Okay. NBC Peacock. Okay. It's either Thursday or Sunday.
Well, I think Thursday Amazon still has all those, right?
Except for the first week, because that's NBC.
Oh, NBC's got that third. Okay, all right.
It might have changed.
Okay, maybe it did.
But that's probably Sunday night. I don't think they're going to go Thursday.
All right.
That
all right. So you want to go 2-2 for Baltimore? You want to give the Bills a dub at Baltimore there?
Yep.
Week 4. All right. So then we got looks like at Cincinnati Bengals. So at Cincinnati Bengals. Boy. Joe Burrow injured yet?
Right. Is he playing well yet?
Is he playing? Yeah. Is Cincinnati right? Is Cincinnati like 0-4 going into that game?
Right. I think
at home. I think Baltimore's winning that.
Baltimore's winning that.
Okay.
They're 3-2.
So 3-2. All right. And then we got the Commanders. They could play them on Mars. That's a dub for Baltimore.
Yeah, and that's at home.
Okay, that's a 4. It's 4-2 now. Mm-hmm. At Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's a win.
That's probably a win. 5-2, and then we go at Cleveland. What's the date on that one? October.
I don't know the date.
27th.
Oh wait, yeah, Sunday, October 27th.
Okay.
Up there.
So
that's a 1:00 game for some.
So we have them at 5-2 going into that game.
I think that's a loss for them.
Okay, 5-3. I like it. Then it looks like is that the Broncos?
Broncos at home. That's a win.
Okay.
That's
6-3. All right. And then they have the Bengals again.
Yep, at home.
At home.
That's
the Bengals?
That's a Thursday night game.
Okay,
they're winning that game.
Okay.
At home.
Okay, so they're winning both Bengals games.
I think so.
Okay.
7.
Even with the healthy Burrow.
Yep.
Okay,
so you could be generous and give Cincinnati that home win. I don't see them going on the road on Thursday night beating Baltimore in Baltimore. That's
7-3, right?
Yeah.
All right. And then what do we have
after Pittsburgh?
At Pittsburgh.
I think that's one that they lose just because it's divisional and Pittsburgh plays well at home. It is a 1:00 game, but I'll give that to Pittsburgh.
7-4. At Chargers. 7-4.
That's a win.
This could be tricky. Yeah,
I think it could be close, but
8-4.
Yeah, I just think what they have defensively. I mean, I think the Chargers are going to be better this year, but I just don't trust them to play very well in big games yet.
No.
And that'll probably be a big game for them at that point in the season.
So 8-4 going into the Eagles right before the bye.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that Chargers game looks like it is a Monday night ESPN.
Oh, okay. All right. So 8-4.
And then they play game of the week against Philly the next week.
Okay.
At home.
And it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be really interesting to see how Philadelphia bounces back after that 6-game skid at the end of the season last year. They basically kept them out of the playoffs. They lost to Tampa Bay the first week of the playoffs. That's right. Yep. What do we got them at? 8-4. You give them a dub there against the Eagles.
Right before the bye week
That's
at
tough
home.
There though. I could go 8-5.
I think I see a better chance of the Eagles internally blowing up with the coaching staff.
Okay.
At this point in the season, I think that. Do you think maybe that's more of a possibility?
Oh, it's definitely a possibility, and this is about the time that they started falling off last year. And I don't know where their bye is. I mean, let's say the Eagles. I'm not sure where their bye week falls.
But it's still in Baltimore,
right?
I mean, we both. It's game of the week.
You going 9-4? Baltimore's 9-4 now. You getting a dub there?
Yeah, I'm not going to try to play this to give Cleveland the division. I think that's
I agree.
a win for them.
All right, 9-4. Who do we got next? Giants?
They have a bye week and then at New York Giants. That's
Coming off a bye.
That's a 1 o'clock game.
That's a 10-4. That's 10-4. Then you got Steelers again.
At home, they win that.
All right, 11-4. And who is next? I can't read it.
At Houston, I could see that being a loss.
Okay, 11-5.
And then they end at home against Cleveland. I think right here decides the division.
Okay. So 11-5 going into that. And that's we're about where the Browns were last year with 4 different quarterbacks. I mean, if that is for the division. All right, well, you know what? I'm going to go with the Browns here. And if we get the sweep, the Baltimore Ravens end 11-6 on the season. I don't know what their futures total is. I could look that up.
It's probably 10.5.
Yeah, you think?
Maybe 11.
Yeah, it's always high. It seems like
11.5.
Baltimore's always high.
I think theirs is 11.5.
Is 11.5? I could see that.
So
I mean, we're kind of right on it, really.
I think they could easily be 11-6 to 12-5.
Right. We're hoping it's 11-6.
Right.
And 2 of those losses come at our hands. Okay.
I think it's our year to beat them twice.
All right. So let's just say that they're.
Tell me if Deshaun didn't get hurt.
Oh yeah.
And we didn't have to throw in DTR at the last minute. Mm-hmm. I think we beat them at home.
Yeah.
That's the only game we lost last year at home.
Yep.
So.
11 so we're going with 11. Let's stay with 11-6. Let's go with that with 2 losses, and that's not being homers here. All right. So what are we going with next? We're just keep track. Remember what those ESPN rankings brought up too.
Yeah,
That was
I'm
crazy.
Keep our
That was
predictions,
crazy to me. How big of a 25% or 25 percentage point drop in there. So okay, the Steelers.
Let's go the Steelers.
Okay. All right.
So game 3 there.
Is it game 3 or
4?
4, right?
Atlanta.
It's at Atlanta?
Yep, at Atlanta. I think that's a loss.
I think Atlanta's winning that game.
Yep. I think they're winning that. They're winning that. And I don't think Pittsburgh's like notoriously very good inside on a track either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so 0-1.
And then they go to Denver. I'll give them that.
Okay, 1-1. I like that. This is interesting here.
Chargers.
Game 3, Chargers. Is it at Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
I don't like.
I don't like the West to East.
I was about to say the same thing. I don't like the West to East kind of thing. I think that's a tight game. I think that's within 3 points. I could definitely see that being within 3.
I'll give that to the Chargers.
Okay.
I think that's going to be one of those early good wins for the Chargers.
I just don't. I'm with you. I don't like the West to East kind of thing.
I don't like that either, but.
I mean, I can see the Steelers being 2-1 at this point, or being 1-2. So we'll go with yours. We'll go with 1-2. Yeah. We'll go with 1-2. At Colts, is Anthony going to be healthy? I mean, he's coming back off that injury too. Gardner Minshew got jettisoned to the Raiders. Second year, Shane Steichen is second year coach now, coming from the Eagles. Really, they were kind of a playoff contending team all the last week. Last year, I
think that's an Indy win.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
Because even Pittsburgh started slow the last few years, and now they have a new quarterback. Now they have a new offensive coordinator. Right. I think there's going to be some time they have to work some stuff.
What do we have them at? 1-3. Let's give them the L there. 1-3. So we got Dallas at Dallas
at home. At home.
Oh, it's at home. I'm sorry.
That is a Sunday night game.
Oh, I don't care. Dallas is winning that.
Yeah.
And what week is it? Oh, it's first week of October.
Yeah.
That's gonna be decent weather.
At Raiders.
1-5.
I think the Steelers win that one.
Yeah, okay. All right. 2-5. I like it.
2-4, right?
Or is it 2-4? Okay.
Yeah.
2-4.
Jets at home. That's a loss.
Whew.
As long as A-Rod's there, that's a loss.
Okay.
So
2-5 now.
Yeah.
2-5. New York Giants is probably a dub for the Steelers.
Yep.
3-5, and then they have their bye week, and they haven't played a division opponent yet. Now this is even Cowherd talked about this.
Dude, they have 4 straight.
Yeah, this gauntlet at the end of the season of the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do we have them right now at 2-5?
3-5.
3-5.
Yeah, they're not making the playoffs.
Let's think about this now. Right after this game, this is probably a Pittsburgh win.
At Washington, yeah.
Yeah.
That's 4-5.
4-5. Okay, so they're one game under 500 now. We're gonna start ripping through these though.
Baltimore, we already at home. I gave them the win there.
Okay, so 5-5. Now they're 500. They're 500. Hey, right there, right on the Tomlin needle.
Yep, and then at Cleveland Thursday night, they're not winning.
Nope. We were at the last time they came there. They got their shit pushed in. So
yeah, was
fantastic.
Halloween?
That was we saw
that was Bengals.
Cincinnati. Yeah, on that Halloween game. That was that the year before? No, maybe it was last year.
The Steelers Thursday night?
Yes, it was last year because the year that we went and saw the Bengals on Monday night.
No, it wasn't last year.
Wasn't it?
Because that was GTR. Remember the last kick of the game? That was a day game.
Okay.
The year before that, I think, was
that it?
That was the Brissett and
we went to both of those special games. We went to Thursday night and with the Monday night.
Yep.
The Monday night game is the last game the Bengals lost before they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they got drilled.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's a loss. So now they're 5-6.
At Cincy, loss.
Okay, 5-7. Then Cleveland Browns coming back home.
This is the year we sweep them.
All right.
5-8.
5-8.
At Philly, that's a loss.
Okay. 5-9.
At Baltimore, they lose that. 5-10.
5-10.
Kansas City at home, that's a loss. 5-11.
5-11.
Cincinnati at home, you could give them the win just because I don't think either team's going to have anything to play with. But at
6-11. We'll give them that one.
We'll give them 6-11.
6-11. We'll give them that. So much for that 500 shit you guys are talking about.
I think this has to be the year. If it's not, I'll freaking bomb the stadium. I don't care.
So right now we got Baltimore at 11-6.
Well, and their schedule, their schedule is not easy.
No,
even the easy part of the schedule, you have Chargers coming to town, going to Indy, Dallas at home. Even that Raiders game that I gave the W for them. I think that could be a game that they could lose. We'll see what Gardner Minshew does there. He usually plays productively wherever he's at.
Sure.
So, they have a tough road to hoe, and to me, not a lot of provability when it comes to what they're doing on offense. And
absolutely.
Their defense is just getting older. It's not like they didn't do anything that. I guess. Well, they got Patrick Queen.
Yes.
So yeah, they're going to be.
They did.
They're going to be solid defensively. I think they'll create turnovers, but
right.
I don't think that formula is going to work forever.
Right.
All right, and you just want to do the Browns last?
Yeah, we can do the Browns last. That's fine.
All right, Cincinnati Bengals. Might as well start them off 0-2 because they ain't beating us. No, I'm kidding. So they open up against the Patriots. They're winning that one.
Yeah,
probably handily.
Bengals.
At Kansas City, they always play Kansas City.
They
tough.
do, but remember, it's also early in the season. Bengals.
Well, it's also early in the season. Chiefs.
Kansas City too. That's true.
But it's in Kansas City.
So the Chiefs start off 2 home games. They start off Baltimore and Cincinnati both at home. Wow. Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah, at least they have to come to Cleveland. Thank God.
Right.
Fly Eagles fly. Boom. You just want to.
What's up, Painter?
Let's give that.
Share our live on TikTok, buddy. Appreciate it. Please.
Oh, we got 221 likes.
Yes.
Hell yeah. We appreciate anyone that's sharing our shit here.
Yeah, and actually we have our little rose campaign up there.
Yeah, it'd be nice to maybe get a rose. That'd be pretty sweet.
That would be absolutely awesome, but whatever. But yeah, Nick, thanks a lot. Share our live. Share with your friends.
Yep. But I think at Kansas City, I'm going to mark that up as a loss.
How do I share? What's that? How do I share?
Yeah, how do I share?
You should just be able to. It should be a share icon down the very bottom of your phone there on the right.
Yeah, don't ask me. I very rarely use TikTok. So.
Very, very bottom right should be a little arrow. Looks like a share icon. And then you can just share that with any and all of your friends. And I would love that.
Be very nice.
Yeah, very nice. All right, let's move on here. So what do we got? Are we going?
Let's go 1-1. Let's on
go
the road, Kansas City.
I like it. All right.
When I think we picked Baltimore to win on the road week 1, right?
Yes.
I don't see Kansas City starting 0-2. There's no way.
So Kansas City's winning that one.
I think
so. They're 1-1.
It'll be a good game.
All right.
Could go the other way,
It's
but
fair enough.
I think right now I'm going to go with Kansas City in that one. Washington at home, I think that's a win.
Okay. 2-1.
Even though I think Washington's going to be better than people think. But at Carolina, win. Why the hell do they get Carolina?
All right,
because
Payne, he shared it. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right.
Because they finished last in the division, they get to play fucking Carolina.
Perfect.
So
2-2.
That's 3-1.
3-1?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The Commander. That's right.
Yeah.
3-1.
They get the Commanders, Patriots, and Panthers 3 out of the first 4 games.
That's great.
Then they get the Ravens at home. I think, did we not have the Ravens
I thought we had
sweeping them?
Yeah, I think we did.
Okay, so 3-2.
3-2.
At New York Giants, that's a win. It's 4-2.
Okay.
At Cleveland, that's a loss.
Yep.
Don't even have to think about it. Philly at
4-3.
home.
Whew, that's close. That's tough. 4-3.
I think.
Painter's watching. Maybe we should go ahead and give the dub to Philly.
Well,
there.
I think. I do think that. I think Philly wins that game just because I don't see Cincinnati's defense matching up well with Hurts. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They really don't play that well against Lamar Jackson either.
True.
So, and he's.
You mean Wentz?
He's and Hurts is probably a better thrower of the ball. So we'll go 4-4.
So you're going to give Cincinnati the dub there?
No.
No. You're going to L. Okay.
Agreed?
Agreed. I'm with you.
Raiders at home. I think we can give them the dub there.
Yep.
But I think that'll be
5
a good
and
game.
4.
Yep,
5-4.
And then 5-5 because they're going to Baltimore.
Yep.
And this is about the time probably where Joey B's out for the season, but we're not going to say that. Then they go to the Chargers. That's a loss.
Okay.
So after starting
5 and 6.
After starting 3-1, they're 5 and 6. Then they have a bye. Then they get Pittsburgh at home. That's a win.
6 and 6.
I'm pretty sure we gave them that win.
I think we did too.
Okay, so at Dallas, loss.
6 and 7.
Well, how about this? We'll give them one upset there. I think they can pull that off.
Really?
Yeah,
All right.
7 and 6.
All right.
Any objections?
That's fine.
Right.
I mean, that's fine.
I mean, you got to throw one.
I mean, I would be more willing to give them the upset game there at Chargers over Dallas, I think.
Okay, well, either way.
Either way.
I think they do win one of those.
6
games.
and 7, right? Is where we have them now?
7 and 6.
7 and 6, sorry.
And then you have
At Tennessee. That's probably a dub.
Probably a win. So 8 and 6.
Plus, the Cincinnati travels well there.
Yeah. Well, that's basically home for them.
Right.
And then they have Cleveland at home, loss.
Okay.
8 and 7. Denver at home, win.
9 and 7.
Yep. And at that point, they're probably going to have something to play for.
Right.
So I'll give them that win. That's 10 and 7.
Yep. So right now we got Baltimore at 11 and 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or 12 and 5. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, we got Cincinnati at 10 and 7.
Yep.
Okay, and we have
Pittsburgh
at
6 and
11. 6 and 11. Okay,
Yep.
I like it. I mean, I really like it.
I think it makes sense.
Right.
All right. So now we go
To the Browns.
to the Browns. Had to be all right. Okay, so we are going to open up with your favorite, Tom Brady, calling
Yep,
the game.
Fuck him. Okay.
America's Game of the Week, Week 1 against Dallas. I think we beat them handily.
I think we're gonna I think we're gonna win that game. That's not at home for Dallas. I think we're gonna win that game.
Oh.
I mean, I do feel we're gonna win that. That's not being a homer. I think
was
that's gonna
at
be a thing.
every home game last year, other than the Niners game.
I thought you guys went to that game. No. Okay. Paint go to that game?
No.
Okay.
No, we did not go to that.
All right.
game.
All right.
The Niners game, we might have went to all the other ones.
Okay.
So that place is loud. Our defense is really good. Mm-hmm. And I honestly think week 1 of this season, the offense is going to play very well. And I'm going to go ahead and say this right here. Nick Chubb will be taking snaps week 1.
Wow.
That's my...
You are...
I don't think he's going to be...
You are prognosticating.
Right. I don't think he's going to get 20 carries. I think that's going to be his first, real football activities for the year.
Okay. I don't even care if Nick Chubb is playing week 1.
I don't think that's going to, but I think there's going to be
matters.
There's going to be a great vibe there in Cleveland. There always is, especially week 1.
especially for a special game like this.
Yes.
And everybody knows this is like the Sunday night.
And honestly, this is
football
gonna
in America
this is
game.
gonna be two of the best defenses playing each other.
Yeah, agreed.
So to me, I'm gonna trust Myles Garrett over Micah Parsons, especially in Week 1. I think that front's gonna be even better than it was last year.
I'm going to predict it now. We're going to come back on this. Dak Prescott is going to be like late season Dak Prescott. He's going to throw 2 picks.
Yeah,
I think there's going to be 2 picks in this game.
He'll have 1 touchdown, 2 picks, throw for about $190. I think that's
Okay. I don't care.
That's a high end.
I don't care if he backdoors us and throws for 300, but he's going to have 2 picks.
Right. But if you go back and look at the stats of the quarterbacks that came into Cleveland last year, they are absolutely fucking horrendous. What Cleveland needs to do this year is play that well on the road.
Sure.
And I think what helps playing well on the road, as we've seen in Baltimore, is having a capable quarterback. Mm-hmm. And we've seen it with Joe Flacco at the end of the year when he went to Houston, and we had that magical run at the end of the year.
Perfect.
So I'm going to predict a win. I'm going to predict a 27-3 win. I think it's going to be.
Wow.
I think it's going to be.
Wow.
I don't think they get 200 yards of offense.
Okay.
I think Deshaun's going to come out, throw for 200 yards, probably a couple touchdowns. It's going to be easy. It's going to be an easy win.
Okay. That's a hammer.
Yep.
I mean, that's a hammer down. I wasn't expecting that. No.
Well, did anybody expect us to beat Cincinnati 24-3 last year?
No. Okay.
Now
true.
they might get a bullshit touchdown at the end of the game or a field goal, but I think it's going to be won by at least 2 scores.
Okay. All right, so we're going at Jacksonville week 2, right?
That's basically a home game for us.
Always is. Just signed Trevor Lawrence to a new contract.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? Now he is another quarterback who's surpassed Deshaun Watson for quarterback pay. Now he's tied with Burrow, I believe, at like $55 million a year. It was some in the neighborhood of like $275 million, $241 million guaranteed.
Yep.
Okay. I actually, and I'm going to stick to my guns on this. I think Jacksonville is going to win that division this year. I'm going to go ahead. I think there's going to be a little bit of a step back from Houston. I think Jacksonville. I do think Sunshine did have a lingering injury. I watched him in a few different games.
Yeah, no, and he was playing well
Right.
up until like week 11 or 12 last year.
So, but also another team that had a crash and burn second part of the season.
Oh, they were the 1 seed, I think, in week 10 or 11.
I mean, they just
and
crashed
then they
and
missed the
burned down
playoffs.
stretch, right? So you're going to go ahead and give the Browns the dub there at Jacksonville, though?
We play well again. I mean, we beat them up last year. That was at home, but
I can see that game being like one of those Doug Peterson goes forward on 4th down to win the game type situations.
that could be Kevin Stefanski going forward on 4th down to win the game. All right, so I could see the Browns losing this game, but I think for what I think I'm going 60-40 Browns winning this.
Okay.
I just think the matchup is in our favor big time.
We'll just keep that one kind of out there for us.
Sure.
So we'll go ahead and go with the 2-0 right now, though. So
Right.
we got to go Danny Dimes at home, New York Giants.
That's a win.
That's a win. So 3-0
Yep.
or 2-1. I mean, that's fine.
Yep.
At Vegas, at Raiders. God, that's
just-
still a dub to me.
I think it's a dub, but we not really like historically played well on the West Coast, even though
Okay.
that's not technically the West Coast anymore. I think that could be a letdown game.
I think that's a win.
It is a later game. That's the game of the week that week. Well, bucket 4-0.
4-0 or 3-1.
Yep,
Then we go at Commanders.
that's a win.
That's a win. So now we're at least 5-0 or 4-1.
Yep. At
Okay.
Philly,
At Eagles.
I could see that being a loss.
I could see that being a loss. So let's go ahead and give them a loss there. So now we're at 5-1 or 4-2, right?
Yep.
Okay.
At home against Cincy, that's a win.
That's a win. We already said that.
And we already said the one against Baltimore's a win.
Right?
So you're at 7-1.
7-1.
Then you have the Chargers at home,
West Coast. No.
We have them at home.
At home. Okay.
which we've had the yips against these assholes
We
the
have.
last few years.
Let's go ahead and give
Let's give them the
let's
loss.
give them the L on that
Yep.
one.
So 7-2, maybe 6-3.
Okay.
Then you have your bye.
Right.
Then you get to go to New Orleans. And historically, we've actually played very well in New Orleans.
And you're coming off your bye.
And you're coming off your bye.
You know,
Stefanski's actually been really, really good after buys.
Against a team that, you know...
They're
Can I-
middling.
Can
They're
I say
middling.
this? How underwhelming have the Saints been since Derek Carr got there? I mean, now...
I think a big part of that's
Arthur Smith's
Dennis
gone.
Allen.
Or Dennis Allen, I'm sorry. Dennis Allen's now gone, so I mean...
Is he gone?
Yeah. Yeah, he got shit canned at the end of last season.
Who's there now?
I don't know. I cannot remember who the new head coach is. But underwhelming, especially...
Dennis Allen has never been a good head coach. I don't know why they ever he's had
Dennis Allen.
He's had like 3 different chances, hasn't he?
Dennis Allen came back to the Steelers. He's with the Steelers. He's the OC. I'm almost positive he's the new OC at Pittsburgh.
I don't believe you. I'm gonna
look it up. Look it up. I'm almost positive I remember that.
I didn't know he was an offensive guy either. Says he's still in New Orleans. I don't think he got fired. You're thinking of Atlanta.
I'm thinking of Atlanta. I'm sorry. Arthur Smith. I was saying Arthur Smith at the beginning. I'm sorry. I apologize. You're right. Who is the OC for Pittsburgh, though? Because they just got...
Yeah, they got a new OC.
Maybe it's him. Maybe it's Arthur Smith.
Yeah, it's Arthur Smith.
It's Arthur Smith.
Yeah.
Okay, I had that wrong. I had the teams backwards.
He had it flipped.
Well, because I was thinking about that last game of the season last year where Jameis went ahead and did Jameis shit. Okay. All right, so where are we at? We're getting sidetracked here.
All right, so we're at 8-2 now.
8-2 with that win,
With that win, we're beating Pittsburgh at home. That's a Thursday night game. We never lose Thursday night at home.
All right, we already said that. 9-2, right?
Mm-hmm. At Denver, win.
10-2.
Maybe 9-3.
All right.
Then at Pittsburgh, that's a win.
Okay.
We are sweeping them this year. I swear to God.
So we're 11-2.
Kansas City at home. We'll give
them the loss.
We'll give them the loss.
So we're 11-3.
Then you go to Cincy. That's a win.
10-4.
And then you have Miami at home. That is a Sunday night game. No, that's another Thursday night game, I think. But
at home.
At home.
In December.
In December.
With Miami.
I think that's a win.
Okay, I like that.
13-3 or 12-4.
12-4. And this could be for the division right here.
Yep. And so if the Browns are 12-4 going into this game, the Ravens would be 11-5. This is the
game.
Or 12-4.
This could be for the whole ball of wax.
This could be for the 1 seed. This could be for the AFC North. Tell me where I am wrong on, or where we are wrong on this. I mean, there might be a game here or there. Like everybody always has one fuck up. You know, Baltimore had what was that, the Indy game last year?
Hell, the Steelers game. They lost that one to the Steelers with Kenny Smallhands.
Yeah. So you know those things always happen, but I think generally speaking, these are pretty good record predictions.
Absolutely.
And I do think the Browns can win 13 games, at the least 12 games. There's nothing that they've done this offseason that would make me think otherwise. Okay. They've revamped the running back room. You have healthy offensive linemen coming back at the 2 most important positions.
Yep.
And then you have 2 all-pros at the guard position, and you have a Pro Bowl center. You have 3 capable running backs. You brought in Jerry Jeudy. You have Amari Cooper. You have David Njoku, who's, to me, is probably going to be the next top tight end in the league.
Mm-hmm. Already a Pro Bowler last year.
If Deshaun Watson can take care of the ball, that's honestly the only thing he's going to need to do with this offense and the defense that we have. But if he is what he was in Houston and Clemson his entire career,
and stay healthy.
Just
stay healthy,
I think that
healthy.
Is the biggest thing. If he can stay healthy,
and then protect
the offense is going to get better and better week after week.
Right.
I think there's no reason why the Browns can't win a division this year.
Right.
Been since 1989. They've been breaking all these bad fucking statistical things since Stefanski's been here. I think they did the right things with the coaching staff this year. I mean, fucking Mike Rabel's here.
Oh, I love it.
I mean,
I love seeing that footage a week ago. I saw Mike Rabel at OTAs. I love seeing him on the field. Loved it. So, yeah. But just to kind of recap what we had, though, we had the Steelers at 6-11. Mm-hmm. So I agree with that ESPN chance ranking there. We had Cincinnati at what, 10-7? Mm-hmm. 10-7, right? We had Baltimore at
11-6, 12-5.
12-5.
Well, 11-6 at what we.
Okay.
But so basically, we're playing Baltimore. We're playing Baltimore in the last week of the season
for the division.
And
possible
in
number
Cleveland.
1 seed, right? It's
possibly
we
the
talked
number one
about
seed.
possibly.
And even if we can't go to Baltimore and win, that last game of the season will still be for the AFC Championship game.
Nice.
So, regardless, I think that's the way the cookie's gonna crumble.
Going back to your graphic though, I still can't find possibly. There's no way the Browns' chances of winning that division. It has to be
9%.
It has to be okay. If I was to do this, okay, I'd probably have Baltimore at like around 40. I'd have the Browns probably at like the 35-ish. No, let's say 30.
Right.
Let's say that they're at 40. Let's say Browns are at 30. That's 70. I'm going to give 25 to the Bengals and 5 to the Steelers.
Yeah.
That's where that ranking should be. In my opinion, that's
I'm right around those numbers as well.
Yeah.
That would make more sense. I think
It
Baltimore
makes absolute zero.
absolutely should be the favorite, but I think to have Cleveland at 9%,
That's crazy to me.
and especially if you look at the schedules that we just laid out, I think Cleveland has where the bye week lands, where the Thursday night games land, and both of those are at home, which Cleveland, I think since 2000 and this is going back to when we sucked.
Yeah.
It was like 2007. They're like 11-1 on Thursday night games at home. I think the only game they lost in that stretch was the year we went over.
Okay.
So
Hell, I don't even remember who that we played.
I think it was maybe Buffalo, but yeah, I don't even remember that game.
Right.
It was hard to watch that season and the season beforehand. We went through some shit.
We did.
But I just
let me ask you this.
I think that everything lays out right. Health permitting, they should be right there at the last week of the season.
Let me ask you this. I want to see where your head lands on this. Are these rankings now? First off, we don't know. Is ESPN using Vegas's lines to come up with these rankings, or is it vice versa, or is it a combination of both? Because the NFL futures kind of reflect what that graphic says. The Browns, like I said,
Where the Browns 9.5.
There's not win
Win
totals,
total.
but to win the division, they're 6
Plus
to 1.
600, right?
Yeah, they're 6 to 1.
Yeah, which is insane.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
So
that's a good bet. If you want to bet that, I might go put $100
I think we're
going
to go ahead and cow on that together. I'm going to talk you into it. We'll cow on that. We'll sell something. I might sell a kidney. That way, when I
might sell one of my kidney stones.
Right. That way, when we cash, I can go ahead and buy 3. Okay, here's what I want to find out. What's really going on in your head? Or Vegas, do they feel like they've seen enough of Deshaun Watson and they feel like he's not going to make it through the season, or he's not going to be the difference maker, or he would actually be a hindrance to the Browns?
I think that's a factor. I think the fact that we haven't won a division in over 30 or 20, what is it, 20?
It's a long time.
26 years. That's, or not 20, no, that's fucking 30.
Yeah, you're right.
36 years. Jesus.
Yeah, 1989.
Yes. Yeah, it's 36 years ago.
Right.
Fuck. So they better win one.
Right. So
I'm not even that old.
So is that part of it? It has to come down. You really have to feel. But if you feel like Deshaun Watson is not going to make it through due to injury or his playing capacity.
I like the Jameis effect. If he can come in, he can sling it.
That's fine. But let me ask you this, though. Then you can't look yourself in the mirror if you're a Bengals fan and actually believe that ranking and say, well, wait a minute. Joe Burrow keeps getting injured.
Right.
So the Bengals are actually going to go ahead and get some extra wins there.
Even when he's healthy, he never plays well in September.
Burrow. Right.
And never plays well against Cleveland.
Sure. So, I mean, if you're going to use that logic, I guess. I mean, if Vegas is using that logic, then why is Cincinnati's ranked?
I think just
because Browning isn't.
Right. He played pretty well last year.
I mean, he did, but I mean, come on.
You're not winning a Super Bowl with that guy,
right?
Or division, I don't think. But I think the whole Deshaun thing, you're ending you're at the tail end of people giving a fuck what he did off the field. But now 2021 or.
But Vegas doesn't give a fuck about that.
No, but Well, Vegas might.
Vegas
but
don't care.
The
They just want money.
ESPN rankings will.
Yeah, okay.
And also, the 1989 thing had won a division forever.
Yeah.
I get that. That's why I think Baltimore should be the favorite. But if you really...
I think they should be the favorite, too. I agree.
If you really run through the schedules of each team, and like we've had this discussion last week and in other weeks, I don't think the Browns have had this type of leadership in the general GM office, coaching staff, even ownership, even though, they went through their bullshit first 5 to 10 years of being owners.
And we just talked about it last week. Andrew Berry and Stefanski both got extensions.
Yeah, and they work very well together.
It's not like they're going anywhere.
Right.
Now, if some reason the Browns went like 6-11, like we think the Steelers are going to go,
that would be something.
We got a problem.
Yeah.
That we got a fucking
Now,
problem.
if they go 10-7, ain't nobody getting fired.
Yeah, no.
As long as you're making the playoffs and competitive.
I think you're going to have to. If you miss the playoffs, though, that still is a problem. That's a problem in my
Well, if you miss the playoffs and Deshaun plays, 15 games.
Yeah, that's a real problem.
Yeah, then
that's a nightmare for us because then we got to go back to the drawing board.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but the chance of that happening, I mean, even how horribly he played last year, he was 5-1 as a starter, 4-1 if you want to count the Indy game, which I wouldn't either. But 4-1 as a starter, he beat Cincy, he beat Baltimore on the road. In the last 3 games he started healthy, he was great.
Sure.
So, I get the people that are not on that bandwagon, but everything else this team provides, the defense, the special teams, our kicker was probably the best kicker in the league. Our punter is probably the best punter in the league. You have the deepest cornerback room in the league. Probably the deepest, other than maybe Philly and San Francisco, front 7. Especially front 4 or front 5, however, if you have a 4 or 5 man front. But, our front's great. You got an all-pro linebacker in JOK. They brought in an experienced linebacker to play Mike, basically. I think they built a team that can make a run.
Sure.
And be right there at the end with any of these teams, and then we can have fun in the playoffs. But,
absolutely.
But, yeah, no, I think that was a great rundown of the AFC North schedules and the bullshit that ESPN likes to propagate. I think Stephen A. made that graphic. Yeah,
right. Oh, all right. Well, we could just get into that right now if you want to. What do you want to get right into the Stephen A. video? Do you want to get delve into more of this Caitlin Clark saga? I mean, it's in every but. I know. It does get exhausting.
Well, and we did say at the beginning of this podcast that we'll never talk about the WNBA.
But and we talked about that last week too. But here we are. We got to talk. We got to talk about it. I want to bring this up too. Stephen A. just laying the lumber down on First Take against a couple split screen with a couple of these former WNBA players. It's pretty crazy here. We have the video. We'll go ahead and talk about some of this. Maybe pause the video as we're going along, but. Basically just trying to talk some sense into these former players of the WNBA and saying, because the whole stink was this week, Caitlin Clark did not make the U.S. Olympic team that's going to be in Paris this year. 12 players selected from the WNBA. The other thing, everybody's talking about, well, she's a rookie. Well, you know what? So was fucking Christian Laettner back in 1992.
When he wasn't even a rookie yet.
Right. He
was still a Duke guy.
Yeah.
He wasn't even drafted yet, I don't think. He might have been drafted.
Maybe he was drafted, but regardless.
Yeah.
So was Christian Laettner. So what? The biggest thing is...
Well, Jordan was... But that's when they had all college players play, right?
Yes, that was before that, right. That was before. That was the dream, the 1992 Dream Team. Uh-oh. Oh, make some activity, please.
Fuck you, TikTok.
Anyway... Yeah, 1992, when the pros could finally, we just ran through shit. I mean, we had Michael Jordan, we had Larry Bird laying on the sidelines because his back was fucked up. We had Magic Johnson with AIDS. We had Christian Laettner, which nobody fucking liked,
and Charles Barkley.
We had Chris fucking Mullins.
Yeah.
We had that fucking dude. Okay, we just ran through fucking teams. Charles Barkley. Okay. That team was amazing. Everybody tuned into that. Okay, everybody tuned in to watch the first time.
Well, it was the first time basketball was honestly like an international thing.
Yeah.
That we had to
But
actually bring our pro players
Correct. That's the ticket.
Right.
Okay, now, going ahead here 30 years later plus, and now we have the WNBA, and you have this phenomenal player that is Caitlin Clark, however you feel about it, whether it's a white-black thing or not. We don't give a shit about that, okay? For her not to get selected for the U.S. Olympic women's team is just an absolute travesty, and just goes to show that the WNBA does not give a fuck, either that or they don't know how to run their fucking business.
No. They would rather sit and be subsidized by the NBA than actually create a product that people want to watch and can make a little bit of money off of. And maybe pay your fucking players a little bit more.
Right.
And, make it a viable thing where they can expand. They can't expand until they make fucking money.
You have Diana Taurasi from the Phoenix Mercury.
At 40 years old.
Who's fucking old as fuck. And she's still making it to the U.S. This is the last time that she's going to have a chance probably to make the Olympic team as a player.
Right.
And she's going to be like Larry Bird in 1992, just fucking laying on the court.
Hit a few threes,
Okay,
get the fuck off.
Get the fuck out. And everybody, so part of the big stink also, that the kind of alibi / scapegoat that they're using out there is like, well, Caitlin Clark has millions of fans, and if she was only to get X amount of minutes of playing time, we're afraid there's going to be an upheaval. An upheaval to what? To what? What the fuck are we talking about? The U.S. women's basketball program has medaled since 1976 in the Olympics. You mean to tell me you wouldn't bring Caitlin Clark along? If I had a golden fucking toilet, I would bring it along just for people. It's a fucking spectacle. It's good for the WNBA. It's good for your fucking league. It's good for women's sports.
It's good for women's sports and women's basketball.
What the fuck are you doing? And then you go and you have a player like Brittany Griner, and I know she's like a defensive player, which Caitlin Clark's not, and I get that. And that's been another excuse. Well, somebody's got to play defense. Brittany Griner's a defensive player. Okay. She's also a person that actually decided that she didn't want to honor the national anthem at one time before she got busted in a fucking Russian gulag.
Right.
All right. What the fuck out? What the fuck are we talking about? All right. On to Stephen A. Smith's clip trying to talk some sense into these women from the WNBA.
Really got heated there, bud.
I did.
I'm going to say something to you that I have said on many, many occasions. It's not that you're wrong. It's that we don't care. Everything y'all said does not matter.
Look at the chicks at the bottom.
Look
This
at
particular instance, we don't want to hear anything about
Dude,
Team
Stephen A. is
USA.
creeping up
I want to
the-
look at them this whole segment when I'm talking to them.
Tolerable ladder.
You just highlighted 7 straight gold medals. Oh my God, we're really worried that they're not going to get an 8th. Oh, we really worried. I mean, we got to make sure that spots 1 through 12, every single spot that is picked. I mean, it's got to be, because it's pivotal, Shannon. I don't know if you noticed, Shannon, it's pivotal. I mean, they won 7 straight. They might not get 8. They might not get 8. Stop it. You know good and damn well, with or without Caitlin Clark, they going to probably win the gold again. That's not what this conversation is about. This is about what I will personally label the idiocy of Team USA women's basketball. How dare you make this decision? It's stupid. And I'm going to tell you why it's stupid. I want all the ladies on this squad to know every single one of y'all are deserving of it. Caitlin Clark does not deserve a spot ahead of any of the players on this roster. Okay? If we're talking just basketball, you know we're not. You know we're not.
Isaiah Thomas should have been on the Dream Team.
Let's harken back to the Dream Team in 1992. Remember when Christian Laettner was on that squad? Forget the pro players. Forget the pro players. That's a given. The point is this. Those rosters, right? Those players were on there. Do you know that Christian Laettner also was chosen ahead of Shaquille O'Neal?
Great point.
And Alonzo Mourning?
Great point.
You know why? He was a 2-time national champion. He was a Wooden Award winner. And he was
drafted
white.
yet either, right?
And he had his own cachet. He brought it to the table. Right. He was a big-time collegiate player who was white and busting people's you-know-what. They couldn't miss.
He was also
and they didn't need him.
16.
You had Jordan. You had Magic. You had everybody. And you still picked that dude. Why? It wasn't because of basketball, even though he had the basketball credentials. It was because of something else. And they didn't need the pub. But the WNBA does. You got a max salary at $250,000. You had attendance, although it was trending in the right direction, certainly wasn't where you wanted it to be. And as Shannon pointed out just the other day, you got a team in the Indiana Fever with their struggling selves, struggling to win a damn game and be relevant. No team in the WNBA was worse other than the winless Washington Mystics, okay? And they went from 4,000 in attendance to 17,000.
Wow.
This girl is box office. I said a rising tide lifts all boats. What you do, especially if you're Team USA and you're trying to be globalized, it is an opportunity to globalize the WNBA brand. So people like Brittany Griner, you know, God bless her soul, and others don't have to go to Russia in the off season to play additional basketball to get extra income.
Yes.
They could stay right here if the sport elevates its popularity and you ladies start getting what you richly deserve. I'll even get a bit personal to Chinea Gumake and Andrea Carter. I recognize the fact that y'all are outstanding basketball analysts. You know how I feel about both of y'all. I told you privately. I've told the world publicly. I think y'all are a tag team for the ages. I think y'all are spectacular. But as spectacular as you are about talking the game of basketball, is that why you think I call for you to be on First Take? It ain't just because of your expertise. It's because you're great television. You matter. You draw an audience. This man, I don't even call Shannon anymore unless I'm teasing him about the Saturday Night Live skit. It's the truth, Shannon. That's the only time I call him Shannon. You know what I call him now? I call him Shay. Or Shay. Why? Because, damn it, that brand is growing. You understand what this man has done to help lift First Take? I ain't apologizing. You make decisions, marketing. I want people watching. I want eyeballs. I want advertising dollars. Why? Because he'll get paid. Y'all will get paid. And guess who else will get paid? You see where I'm coming from? That's what it's about. Stop acting otherwise. We know this. You don't sit up there and pass on Caitlin Clark. It was stupid, Team USA. It was a dumb decision. Everybody. Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
All right.
Yeah, there's 4 more minutes of that I'm going to personally watch after this. But
it's so good.
That's a great...
I watched the whole thing. He is absolutely just slamming them because they were talking.
And this is just common sense.
They're just talking about beforehand, and he's absolutely 100% right. He was talking. They were talking to him before that, Lane. Well, you know, we should have the best 12 players in the WNBA. Nobody fucking cares.
No.
He hit it right on the head. Nobody cares about that. You're not in the risk of not winning again.
And anybody that would love to get into the comment section and tell me why these 12 women are better than her.
Right.
I bet you can't. I bet you don't even know who's on the team. I don't.
Nope.
I know he just said Tarazi. That's about one chick that I know.
Ajay Wilson.
Is Griner on there?
Yes, Griner's on there. Ajay Wilson's on there.
Is her dick coming too? Or? Anybody that could say that she literally came out and said that she could beat DeMarcus Cousins in a game 1-on-1.
So there's 3 players. I think there's 3. It's at least 25% of the players are coming from the Las Vegas Aces, which are they've won the last 2 years in a row. The Connecticut Sun's doing really well this year. They beat the shit out of the Indiana Fever twice.
Would you know about any of this if you didn't have
if I didn't
legal
gamble?
betting?
No, I probably wouldn't. I probably would not. Would I tune in to watch Caitlin Clark? No, probably not.
No.
The NBA Finals is going on right now too, so I don't know after that. Yeah, I see that. That's me, by the way. That one person up there. But hey,
500
so
likes.
well, I've done that quite a bit. It's all good. But going back to what Stephen A. said, he's 100% correct. I mean, if you have a cash cow just sitting there and you don't perpetuate them.
And this is 100% different than if the next, or like Wemby.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be on the USA team, or he'll probably play for France, wherever the fuck he's from. You know why? Because the NBA makes a shit ton of fucking money.
Right.
They have plenty of stars. You have LeBron. You have fucking Paul George. You have Devin Booker. You have basically at least one star in every market. And the NBA does better than the MLB, does not do as well as the NFL, just because the NFL is king until we see what happens with this bullshit hip drop tackle stuff. But you know, this he's exactly right. They need viewership. They need. Do you think that if Caitlin Clark was on this team, it would absolutely be on actual fucking network television?
Sure.
You would have more eyes on it. This would also give more eyes to the WNBA, which she has done. It's obviously correlation is causation. She got drafted. People give a fuck about the WNBA now. We're talking about it. I don't know why I'm talking. I can't watch 2 seconds of the WNBA.
No, but
Even with her playing.
But here we are.
But she is making it at least a viable sport now. It was 25 years of 20,000 seat arena with 1,500 people showing up.
Sure.
Promoter lost his ass. Thank you, Bill Burr. Not a good night. Now they're actually making money. Why is this such a... You know, this would be like if the NBA did its hardest job to make sure people didn't know who Magic Johnson and Larry Bird were. They were the ones that propped it up the sport, and then you had Michael Jordan in the mid-'80s. If the NBA was just like against making money.
Which they are not.
Which they are not. Until it comes to, you know, subsidizing this women's league. But
Whatever.
no, I completely agree with everything that he just said.
Yep. All right. Give us your thoughts. I just shared the live. Again, give us your thoughts on this. Even, well, can't really do it post-live. We do some clips there later on. But
Yeah.
give us your thoughts about this. I mean, I just want to know just look at this from a business standpoint. If you were good to go out and you're like, hey, it's hot as fuck. I'm going to send my kids out to the curb and try to make a little extra money. Are you using fresh squeezed free lemons, or are you using fucking Kool-Aid packets to make fucking lemonade? Are you charging 5 cents, or are you charging 10? You could be charging $1 if you actually shake it like the fucking carnies at the fair.
Right.
Okay? Or you could say, nah, we're going to go ahead and leave those fucking lemons spoil.
This has also been like pure basketball reasons why the sport is growing. And that's what you want, right?
Sure. But you also want to help perpetuate it in the most easy fashion.
Right.
You've already got it in the room. Just push it out to the front.
But, I mean, even in the clips I see of her getting destroyed.
Oh.
These
horrible.
bitches, like, they're biting their nose to spite their face. They're getting paid shit, which they should. They don't make any money. They're lucky to make a living doing this.
Bloody fucking money.
If it wasn't for the NBA, they would not make any money.
Right. I also saw this too. Quick little thing here. The WNBA, even after this season with Caitlin Clark, is still gonna be like $50 million in the hole.
50?
50.
Damn.
50.
And they've tripled attendance numbers?
Yeah. So I don't know if like they have.
I think it will be a better benchmark to see their maybe. Is there like TV deals
I don't know
included with the NBA? So
I know
that would be the barometer whenever they come up to their next TV deal.
Yes.
If they're going to get more money, that will expand the sport.
And can I just go ahead and give my opinion on this? Get the fuck out of ESPN's fucking bedroom.
Right.
If you have an opportunity to hop on Amazon Prime or Peacock or Paramount,
do it.
Get your fucking shit out there and get away from those fucking assholes.
Well, yeah, get on a cheap streaming service
Something.
so people, and you'll get
Whatever.
good numbers there.
Sure.
I'm sure.
I do know this. They do have a deal with Amazon Prime because I will get Prime.
Do they do the finals, or does ESPN do the finals?
I don't know. I just know Amazon Prime, it'll pop up on my phone sometimes. It'll say, hey, so-and-so, the Aces are playing the Mystics or whatever.
Oh, better go watch.
Oh, good.
People miss
layups. I'm
layups.
going to flip it over to fucking Nottingham tennis. Okay. But I know that they have some games on Amazon Prime. So,
right.
rip Amazon Prime. All right, let's go ahead and get into some other basketball talk.
Yes.
Which is the NBA Finals. The Mavs now down 0-3 to the Celtics. First off. I thought we were going to save that, but that's good.
I think it's a good.
That's good. I saw one the other day where it's the old Scooby-Doo meme, and Fred's taking the head off the monster, and it's the Dallas Mavericks logo, and he pulls it off, and it's the Dallas Cowboys star. It's so good. I should have sent that over to you.
That would have been great.
It's so fucking good. But anyway, all right. So the Mavericks game 4 is tonight in Dallas. Don't know what's. It's hard for me to believe that Dallas is going to get swept in this. I didn't really think. I figured Dallas was going to get game 3. Luka shooting 1 for 7 from 3-point land, though. And I know everybody's kind of been out there, and I have been too. Like, Kyrie didn't help him out much. And we saw this against Minnesota in the Western Conference Finals. Like, Luka and Kyrie, especially in the second half, they just kind of synchronized. One of them might start off kind of slow, and the first half, usually it was Kyrie. But he'd get it together in the second half, and they made quick work of Minnesota Timberwolves, which I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I didn't either.
In this series, Luka and games.
I think that is a age thing. I think Minnesota's going to be the next.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I have a feeling they will too. But in this series here, games 1 and 2, of course, Kristaps Porzingis with a hell of a first game 1 in Boston. He was definitely the X factor in that game. Porzingis, though, out with another injury in game 3 and also in game 4 tonight.
Dude, this guy literally is a Hall of Fame talent that cannot stay healthy.
He can't. I mean, he is a unicorn. Yeah. I mean, he is an
He's
absolute
like Sajunas
unicorn.
Agauskas his first 6 years.
Yeah, except Porzingis can hit threes also.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Zeke could, but he just never shot them.
Yeah.
Differently.
Porzingis will.
Yeah.
And the other thing that, Porzingis really draws is the fact that, and we definitely saw it in game 1, was the fact that he drew so much attention down low that it opened up Boston's wing game. So, Derek White and Brown and even Tatum were hitting threes out there on the perimeter. It opened up the wing shooters for Boston.
Well, and this series has opened my eyes up to exactly how deep Boston really is. And I also think this... You can't really call it the Eastern Conference anymore because I think Dallas was the best team coming out of the Western Conference. Obviously, they proved that against.
See, I don't. I feel like Denver was still the team to beat coming out of there.
Well, to me, I think talent-wise, Minnesota had it.
Yeah,
but I think you had some. Luka's been around long enough at this point. I think what you're seeing from the Mavs right now is almost what you've seen from the 2007 Cavs.
Okay.
Except he has a running
That's
mate.
That's fair.
He does have a running mate in Kyrie Irving, but almost like Larry Hughes doesn't show up when you need him.
Right.
So that's what you're seeing. I think Dallas is going to be right there too for the next 4 or 5 years. But the usage rate that they have with Doncic throughout the regular season and then into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can sustain that.
No, and he's 25 years old.
And he's also not like, LeBron early in his career, he's in the best shape of anybody on the court.
Right.
Luke is not.
Right.
He's banged up. He's got a knee thing going on. He's got a back thing going on. Thing going on.
And I threw this out there too. Speaking of which, the guy after they won the Western Conference Finals was out there post game through the locker room tunnel drinking a beer. And the GM of operations took his beer away from him. Luka is now 0-3 since he's not getting to drink that beer. Yeah. He has lost 3 straight against the Celtics. like I said, Game 4 tonight, Luka played outstanding really in those first 2 games, even in Boston.
Yeah.
It was just too much. It was too much, but then in
Game 2, they probably...
Yeah, that's true.
If Kyrie played okay, they probably could have won.
Right, but Kyrie didn't play okay. And then Game 3, it was kind of the opposite. Luka's 1 for 7 from 3. Kyrie was
shit from the free throw line.
Yes, great point. Luka not that well, but Kyrie did kind of step it up in Game 3.
At least in the second half.
But that's the thing. In my opinion, for Dallas, if they were to somehow turn this series around, they're down 3-0.
They have to be the 2016 Cavs.
Yeah.
It's got to be Luka and Kyrie.
And they have
getting 80 points a game.
Right. Those two have to come together, not just for a half now. They have to come in
for
now
the whole time.
For the entirety of the rest of the finals.
They have to take advantage of Boston not having a 7-3 stretch player that can play inside, outside, and plays pretty good defense.
And if I was a betting man, which I am, and I did bet Game 3, which I lost, when I found out Porzingis was going to be out, instantly hit the bet button on Dallas getting their first game at home, and they lost. It wasn't like a terrible. I mean, the Celtics actually had to come up with something there, but definitely. They just got to click together. They have to click together. I mean, you got Gafford down in there. You can rotate him out with the rookie Lively, also out of Duke, which is good. Well, now, Porzingis isn't down.
The thing is, though, is with Boston having Drew Holiday, that is a 6'4" guard that is physical, and I think if you're going to put anything in Kyrie Irving, that's what you throw at him.
Yeah. If you're Boston, you mean to close
if you're anyone,
okay, sure.
That's.
Sure.
They have the advantage basically against any team that they've played.
And I going back to the experience though, also they have Al Horford. Let's not forget about that.
Well, and Boston's been to the finals twice in the last 4 years.
Yeah, I've been to the Western Conference Finals like the last 4 years in a row, haven't they?
Who?
The Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah,
last 4 years in a row.
Probably 6 years.
Maybe.
LeBron beat him twice.
Yeah. Okay, but
in Cleveland, I mean.
Yes.
And that was 17-18.
Yeah. That was before Tatum, though, right?
No, that was Tatum and Brown.
Was Tatum there then?
They were young, but they had Tatum, Brown, Horford. They had that.
Okay.
This team
I
has been
thought
together.
Horford was on the Hawks then.
Horford was on the Hawks.
But Tatum and Brown were in the building.
Up until 18, I think.
Okay.
But 17, the Celtics were there. But I think the Cavs were favored. 18, Celtics were heavily favored, and the Cavs won, I think, in 6.
Okay.
Well, LeBron won in 6. That 18 run, I don't care any playoff run that you can look up. That's the best player I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
Well, that's 16. That last 4 games.
Anyway, when we get off here, I don't know what I might just go ahead and look because the game's going on right now. Might kind of give it a look-see, see how we're doing. Oh, it's 20-14 in the first Mavs right now. So that's good.
I mean, I hope they can take one.
Yeah. I
have nothing against Kyrie anymore. It's been long enough.
No, I don't have anything against him.
I like Luka. I like
Boston,
Dallas,
though.
and fuck Boston.
Fuck Boston forever.
Well, and I know you hate it because of douchebag pizza guy. He has fucking Wolverines win now. What kind of fucking fan are you? You're a Wolverines fan and a Boston Celtics fan. Because you're a Michigan man. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, that's true.
That's like being a Buckeye fan and a Steelers fan.
Very, very true.
I'm not a fan of those.
Man, Lively coming off the bench, 1 for 1 from the 3-point line. I don't know if I've seen that guy shoot a 3.
Yeah.
Luka, though, 0 for 2 from 3 right now. But he does have 10 points. So, yeah, he's 4 for 6 from the field. Kyrie Irving's 2 for 3. Hasn't shot a 3-pointer yet, but it's early. 4:11 left into the first. The Mavs are leading right now, 21-14. Nice. So we're going to see what happens there. All right. I really have a feeling it's going to be tough. I mean, even if Dallas gets this game, and then they got to go back to Boston. Now, if some reason, if they could win that next one at Boston, then it's 3-2. Then you come back to Dallas. Now you got a series. Yeah. Because you definitely have a series at that point. That would be
I would love just, I remember watching the Red Sox come back 3-0 against the Yankees.
Yes. 2003, right? 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think 2003 was the Aaron Boone, or what was that? I can't remember. Something happened in 03. Boston should have won that series, but then that next year, that was one of the funnest things ever to just watch.
Yeah.
A 3-0 comeback.
Because that was really kind of the World Series that year because they played the St. Louis Cardinals and they swept them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like the World Series wasn't competitive.
Well, I mean, it wasn't competitive, I think, Boston hit a stride.
Yeah, absolutely.
And St. Louis was good that year. What really always grinds my gears is the 07 Indians up 3-1 against Boston.
Oh.
And then they get to play the fucking Colorado Rockies. I don't give a fuck what year you talk about. The Colorado Rockies are not a World Series winning team. I think Colorado won like 22 straight games going into the World Series. But the NL was just trash. So, of course, you can't get that one to make
trash.
that World Series. Yeah, big trash. And Kenny Lofton came back that year. It was fun. And then you had the one guy on third base stop Kenny to score in Game 5.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was almost like 2016 World Series. You're up 3-1.
Well, speaking of which, I know we were possibly talking about the Indians right now.
Mm-hmm.
They are up 3-1 against the Blue Jays. The Indians 42-23 right now, middle of the 7th. Allen got the start today. Let's see how Allen did here. So
he's been a good number two.
He went 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 3 Ks with 3 walks. So they pulled him out. He had a pitch count of 84, pulled him out. So now we're down to the bullpen. So,
that's what's going to be their biggest. They probably have the deepest bullpen in Major League Baseball right now.
Right.
What they need is a bona fide number 1 starter.
Will Brennan, 2 for 3 with a home run.
Nice.
Like that.
And they're the youngest team in the league right now.
Yeah.
By far. I think their average age is like 2 or 3 years younger than any other team in the league. And their payroll is like a third of the Mets.
Yeah.
And the Mets are probably the worst team in the league at this point. And, I mean, well, I'm not going to bring that. We could go out and get Frankie Lindor, but that contract, there's no fucking way.
No, you're not going to do
that. What they need to do, I think they need to get a Bo Bichette from Toronto, but I think that's going to be closer to the trade deadline just because Toronto is going to kind of hover around wild card to, potentially win that division.
Right now, they are 33-35. They're 500,
right?
Basically.
They're going to wait. They're going to... Because they have a pretty good, they do have a pretty good roster.
But let's not forget, Toronto's also in a division with the Yankees and the
that's a hard
Baltimore
division.
Orioles.
But now there's 3 more wild card teams,
right?
So as long as they're close, I think I think at the point of the time for the trade deadline, they're going to be sellers. But the Indians, if they would just not worry about being woke for one fucking second, go out and get Trevor Bauer.
Yeah,
you can get him for league minimum.
Yeah,
if you're going to win it.
Sure.
And it doesn't even have to be this year, but like you have a chance this year. You have what, the second or third best record?
Yeah, you're let's see. Well, you're basically
I think the Yankees
21 games above 500, right?
Right. But I think the Yankees have a better record and maybe the Braves?
Orioles maybe even.
Orioles
are right up there too. Let me look.
Just look at winning percentage.
Yep, I will. I'm going to go ahead and look at the leagues.
But, God forbid we had Shane Bieber right now. This would be less of a discussion. Because I do like Bibee. And he could be a solid number 1. But you do need that second guy in that rotation.
Okay, so the Yankees are 690, Baltimore 662, the Tribe is 652. So only
American League, you're in the 3 seed, right? Well, second seed because Baltimore's not going to win that division.
Right. So and then in the National League, you got Philly with the
Philly
676.
Okay. Yeah,
So
Philly's playing
they're
well.
pretty high. They're pretty high up there.
Where are the Dodgers at?
The Dodgers they're in first. They're at 600.
Okay.
So I mean,
So they're playing well, and they're in a loaded division as well. Usually are, but at this point in the season, and I'm not saying like something has to happen tomorrow, but the closer and closer you get to the trade deadline, they have to see this as a window of let's fucking go for it. You need a starting pitcher, and I think you need a little more offense at shortstop. Someone, I think Bo Bichette, because I think you can have him for 2 more years on a good deal. And that's a guy that's hit around 300 his entire career, plays good defense at short, and can hit 20 or 25, 30 home runs. So then, this lineup is now growing and evolving. They can actually hit home or hit for power. I think they might even be top 10 in home runs this year. But I know, I think contact-wise, they're still the best in the league. Stephen Kwan was out for almost a month.
Yeah.
He's hitting 380.
right. He was leading. I think he was leading the majors in leadoff, or was it leadoff man percentage? Maybe before he went out.
Yeah,
I think it was,
I think he's leading the entire league in batting
right
average
now. But
Do you want to know what his average is since he's came back from the DL?
no idea.
Yes,
His average.
batting average.
Well, first off, it's the IL now because we got to be
Or IL,
woke.
I'm sorry,
You
yeah.
can't. It's not. You can't say disabled. God damn. I'm gonna say 332. Over under.
520
What? 520 is what he's batting right now.
since he came back from the IL.
We need to put that guy in the IL immediately again.
520. His on base percentage is 625.
Holy shit!
And this is over. I think it's been over a week now. Might even be 2.
Yeah, I think it's a couple.
And another one. I heard this earlier today. What is his average on seeing a pitcher a third time in a game?
Oh, I bet it's damn near 100%.
It's like 6 something. I think it was
Oh,
625.
percentage. Oh, I thought you meant.
Batting average.
Oh, average. Okay, no.
So when he
shit.
sees a pitcher 3 times in a game, he's
Oh,
batting
no.
like
I
600.
thought you meant, okay, if he gets 5 at bats during the game.
No.
his
If you see
third
like
one.
a starting pitcher, it's a 6th inning
Okay,
for the
gotcha.
3rd time.
Gotcha.
I think he has. He missed like almost a month, and I think he leads the league in multi-hit games.
His average is 380 right now. He's 1 for 3 tonight.
Yeah. And being 1 for 3, his average is going to go down.
Right. That's amazing.
And I think they have club control for him for like the next 6 years.
I love it.
But that's going to be a guy. Hopefully, you can sign to an extended contract. But we'll see.
And talk to me at the end of next month. Let's get past the All-Star
I mean,
break. No, I know that.
we
but
keep pushing the goalposts.
I know.
But I do agree because I don't think not trusting, but using the bullpen the way they've had to use it, and I think this is actually a league-wide thing. But you need to have 1 or 2 starters that can at least go 6 innings. Definitely, you want them to go 7.
All right.
But we have great arms coming out of the bullpen. You need to have some starters that can put some innings.
Well, Allen only went 5 tonight.
But
So
that's the least of what you want.
They had an 84
at least
pitch
5
count on him. So.
Yeah, at least 5.
Yeah.
But and they keep winning. But they keep winning, and they win at home. I think they've had like 4 or 5 walk-off
Well, here's
wins.
what happened last year. We were kind of demanding that the Dolans go ahead and try to make a move at the trade deadline last year, which they never did. But then
they were right there to win the division.
Yeah, and it was a bad division.
Yeah.
Right now, I wouldn't say the division's fantastic. It's not. We're 5 games above Kansas City.
Kansas City's not bad.
They're not bad, but there were 5
Minnesota's
games over
not
them.
bad. Chicago's really the only one that's
We're
horrible
just playing
in the
a
division.
lot better. Like the division winner last year, Minnesota. We just
like
barely
86 or
barely over
something.
500, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
But the Minnesota was kind of like our MO last year. Like they had good pitching and everything. They didn't have any offense. So then in the later part of the season last year, we were running into problems because we had some injuries there. I think not Ramirez, but Naylor.
Mm-hmm.
So he got injured, and then that kind of took away from protecting Ramirez.
Yeah, protecting Ramirez. And now you
Right.
see with a lineup that has some pop in different spots of
Right.
the lineup, has, like I said, I think they're the best batting average
Will
team
Brennan.
in the league.
I mean,
yeah, Will Brennan's
the guy's been killing it.
And who's the other guy? He literally has the same or better like numbers than Aaron Judge in the last like month and a half.
Rocchio?
No, one of the outfielders.
Oh,
Fry, David Fry.
Yeah, Fry.
This guy's been a godsend. They actually have power in the lineup. They
Right.
can go deep,
Right.
but they also run the bases really well.
He's hitting 321 right now.
Yeah.
So
And how many homers does he have? Around
Schneeman,
10?
let me look here.
Because I don't think he didn't start the year as a starter.
Right.
I think he was a
He has
call.
8. He
Yeah.
has 8 home runs for the year. He has 30 RBIs. So
Yeah, and his
his
at-bats are
OPS
probably
is
half
his
the-
OPS is over 1 though. It's 1.
That's insane. That's MVP. If your OPS is over 0.9,
Right.
you're a all-star to MVP caliber, and he's over 1.
Right.
So, I mean, the Indians have, as they usually do, even if there's some down years here and there, they cultivate talent and have done a very great job of doing so. I just hope this year that the Dolans and that front office can add a couple pieces here to give them the best chance to go win one. Fuck it.
Right. I'm with you.
You know?
Let's do it.
And they don't have to destroy the future to do this either.
Right.
You know, and they have the number 1 pick in the draft coming up, which has never happened in our franchise history.
Perfect.
We didn't pick Manny Ramirez number 1 overall. We didn't pick Jim Thome until I think the 18th round. We didn't pick, so to have the number 1 overall pick, maybe we can go get a top tier pitcher, or it'd be great to get an outfielder that has a lot of power,
Right.
that will be here for at least 6 to 8 years.
Sure.
But they keep cooking. Hopefully, Trump can buy him and give him Chief Wahoo back, but
The Haslam Sports Group.
or Musk or Haslam.
Haslam's.
I
I'd love
bet-
them to fucking buy him.
Right.
They fuck you.
They have the cash.
They might send Stefanski over to coach.
Right. Well, and we haven't even talked about Stephen Vogt. Obviously, has done a great job.
Yep. Sure.
I've only seen a couple times where people are bitching about some late game moves.
No, you're always gonna have that.
You're gonna have that, especially in baseball. But obviously, these kids are playing for him.
Hey.
It's almost like a younger Tito.
Sure.
I mean, I remember when Tito came over from Boston. Those first couple years, nobody thought those teams were going to be good. You know, they got into the wild card a couple times, then boom, we had 4 or 5 division champs in a row. So,
NBA update: Dallas 34, Boston 21 into the first quarter.
nice.
So.
Well, hopefully they can pull
they
one
can
out.
hold this
I
on.
hate fucking finals that ends in sweeps.
Yep, I don't like it.
That's not good for any.
Boston shooting 38% from the field to Dallas is almost 60. That's kind of like
Where's
a different move.
Where's Kyrie and
Kyrie is
Luka?
one for 2.
You got some assists?
Yeah, Kyrie is. Let's see. Kyrie is 4 for 7 from the field for 11 points. 1 for 2 for 3, and with 2 assists. Luka 5 for 8 for 13 points. So they're kind of
That's exactly what we
that's
said.
what we need to do.
They need
Yeah,
80
they
points
need to
from
do
those
it. Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, I mean that's really kind of what they're on that track right now. So definitely on that track. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our Crying Jordan segment. Anybody that's out there, please go ahead and share now, because this is the fun portion of the podcast.
Yeah, help us hit 600 likes. We have 500
yeah,
likes on this.
Yeah,
on
we
this
should.
live.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to get over there. I'm going to help us out right now. Matter of fact. So,
You won't. So
I'm doing it right now. I'm tapping the screen.
I don't believe you. So.
I am.
All right, CJ.
CJ of the day.
This one. Well, let's start this with the Joey Chestnut.
Oh, I love it.
And this is where I got the name of this episode.
Yes.
Apparently, Joey Chestnut decided to take a sponsorship opportunity from
Yeah. So I read about this
from
too.
a fake meat company.
Yes. It's the Impossible.
Like the Impossible Whopper.
Yeah. So the Impossible Meat Company that went ahead and signed Joey Chestnut to a $4 million deal.
Can't blame the guy.
Okay,
I would do the same thing.
Can't blame the guy.
Especially if your one thing is eating.
Do you know? Okay, the guy's been doing this since what? 2005.
Oh, it's got to. Yeah, I was.
So the guy's going on like 20 years.
I was in elementary school.
Yeah,
I
like
think.
the Nathan's hot dog eating contest they have every 4th of July.
Yeah.
You know how much the guy wins if you win that? $10,000.
Yeah, I think shit.
That ain't nothing. But
he's had good sponsorship since then.
And he has.
And exactly what I would be doing too. Like, fuck you, I'm getting my money and running.
Well, so here's my thing. Here's what I don't understand though. So now I looked up the guy's worth. He is worth about $4 million. So then he just signed a new contract with the Impossible Meat Company.
To double
which
it.
I'm going to tell you something. I work in some grocery retail. Nobody buys that shit. At least not here.
Well, no, and
I'm trying to figure out how in the holy fuck
Burger
they had
King.
$4 million. Yeah, or they had $4 million to toss around to Joey Chestnut.
Well, and probably the government.
Probably.
Seriously, they fund that shit. But yeah, nobody eats that shit. I seen a video of like in Canada. This is like the most. It was in like the most desolate area, like Northwest Canada.
Oh.
And like the whole fucking grocery store was empty, and the only thing that was there was like
Impossible meat.
was vegan and fake meat. Nobody's eating that shit. But hey, man, if you can get $4 million from them, fuck them. Take that money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The problem is though, is now Nathan's Hot Dogs got wind of this,
Right.
And they decided to make him ineligible for the hot dog eating challenge this year.
At the same time, good for you, Nathan's. Fuck them.
And you might have this might have been a godsend because if he does stop scarfing down 47 Guinness Book of World Records hot dogs at a time, he might live long enough to enjoy the $4 million he just signed from Impossible Meat. So we're gonna find out. Don't know how many of those glizzies.
Definitely glizzies.
Yeah, till I kind of like this guy down in the corner too. What's that guy's name again? Just kind of hanging out. I mean, you got Zuckerberg up there on Chestnut's face,
Right.
and
Also crying Jordan at the bottom half.
That's really
It's a beautiful piece of art.
And I didn't know this either.
Hey, would you pay more for this in a painting or Hunter Biden's $31 million painting? Oh, we can't talk about this? Oh, all right.
Only if I can hang it in my dining area. Because
With the 15-year-old prostitute that he had.
this is also amazing to me. I'm looking at this picture, right? This is cropped in here and everything. Look at the secondary sponsor, Pepsi. You eat all these
Right?
fucking hot dogs, and you got Pepsi.
Yeah. Dude, I wouldn't, if I was that guy, there's no way I would wake up without taking at least 2 heartburn, like Nexum.
How do you think this guy gets ready for this competition? I'm sure they've probably talked. They've asked him about it. We can go there.
I bet there's just like a lot of meth involved. A lot of Adderall.
Because the guy dunks the buns in water, almost like a raccoon.
Yeah, and that's disgusting.
Yeah, it is. But it's almost like a raccoon, and he's just swallowing the shit.
Do you remember Gary Thompson?
I don't know.
I've literally seen this guy, and this is probably like when I first seen Joey Chestnut, but I was over at dude's house one time, and he literally just got a hot dog, put it in his mouth, swallowed it, and I was like, oh. Do you have a sister? She's single?
Love it.
But
All
yeah,
right.
I don't know how you prepare for that.
Anyway, sorry, anybody who was going to be going to Long Island to watch the competition or was it Long Island? Yeah, I think Long Island, New York, to watch the competition this year for the 4th of July hot dog eating challenge sponsored. Oh, there we go.
And this is Brett or Photoshopped by Brent, right?
Brent, Brett Shops.
Yep.
Fantastic guy on Facebook and Twitter, by the way. You
Yes,
should get on
yeah.
there. There's shit on Twitter that he has on there you will not see on Facebook.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
Because fuck Zuckerberg. And it caught me off guard when I put it into the OBS earlier because I did not see the Denzel.
Can you zoom in on that right there or not? Are you able to do that?
Yeah, I can.
Midstream?
Yep, I think I can.
Because if you can get in on the Grim Reaper. Look at this
Smiling Denzel.
fucking red Auerbach is right there over his left shoulder. Look.
Smoking a stogie.
It's either that or those are dead people.
Right.
So it's either Red Auerbach or it could be Customato. Not really sure.
Well, this is definitely the night that Red Auerbach found a chick with AIDS to send to Magic Johnson's room.
Anyway,
Anywho.
Jerry West, the famous NBA logo, passed away this week. Definitely getting a crying Jordan. Of course, I put it out there that the guy actually should be smiling now because he's one of the few Lakers that actually avoided the Kardashian curse. So
Definitely. Well, and if anybody's watching, there's the best portrayal of this man is in the HBO series Showtime. It's fucking hilarious.
Which I still need to watch.
Which this asshole still needs to watch.
I do need to watch. I keep falling asleep trying to watch. I'm old.
God, it's so funny.
Speaking of which, we are going to do that documentary series on the Patriots,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Are we going to start that next week, maybe?
We should do that.
Okay.
next week.
All right, let's do that.
Yeah, we'll have the finals. Maybe the finals be done. Maybe they won't be.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's true.
I mean, it could
We're hoping they don't.
be very well. I'm sure they probably will be. I mean, hell, there's another 2 or 3 games that can be played until then.
Yeah.
But no, it's a great series. But we're gonna do the Patriots Dynasty series. Start that next week. We'll go over. Come on.
The live's ended. What happened? Gender-based violence.
Alcohol, tobacco, and drugs. Was the fucking ATF and TikTok now?
Well, you can't drink Twisted Teas on live, I guess, apparently.
You can go live June 21st. So we have a week. Fucking assholes. Well, we got 649 days.
Well, anybody that was over there, we'll just go ahead and continue. But any other crying Jordans going to... The good thing is we're about done with the podcast. So
Yeah.
You want to wrap it up now? And
Yeah, that's a good one.
that is a good one. Damn it.
That's a great one. But yeah, I think it's a good point to wrap up.
Hey, rep Jerry West,
No, and I fucking love Jerry.
I do too. I do too.
I've watched a lot of videos of him talking about Kobe and Shaq. And, and even back,
banging Jerry Buss's daughter.
Yeah,
Jenny.
Fuck yeah,
Jenny.
And his work with the Clippers. Jerry West is a great guy. Great fucking logo guy for the NBA. It's awesome. And I hope they never really change that.
I do too. Yeah, I hope so.
I just keep that.
Right.
It's
keep it a white guy.
Right. Great. Well,
I'm joking.
But we're not really joking. It's the last thing we have. But no, great podcast. If you guys are watching on Facebook, Twitter, please like and follow us, subscribe, whatever you can do. We're at Dogs Raw on TikTok. If you're not on our TikTok live.
Yep.
Been a great night.
Great night.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week.
All right, sounds good. RawDawgers out.
RawDawgers out.